If you've ever felt completely pinned down by an emotion, you know that feeling. That buzz of anxiety, or maybe a flash of anger, or just this deep, cold fear.
Hmm.
And the first instinct is always to just push it away, right? To be strong. But that feeling of being stuck is, well, it's universal.
It's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah.
All that energy spent just holding things down. But what if it isn't about strength at all, but about having the right tool? A tool that's, incredibly simple, and you can use it anywhere.
And that tool, according to the source material for our deep dive today, is the emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. We're looking at Paul Rogers' guide, Emotional Freedom Techniques and Tapping for Beginners.
Right. And our mission here is to really understand this. It's a scientifically supported method, and Rogers frames it perfectly. He says emotional freedom isn't about suppression.
It's about release.
Exactly. Skillful release. Because when you suppress a feeling, you're just locking that energy inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
EFT is about giving you a safe way to let that pressure out.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Because EFT tapping, I mean, on the surface, it sounds almost too simple. You're just tapping on your face.
Well, you're tapping on specific acupuncture meridian points on the face and upper body. But, and this is the key, you're doing that while acknowledging the raw emotion you're actually feeling in that moment.
And the logic behind this is fascinating. Roger says emotional pain isn't just in your head, it gets stored in the body as, what, blocked energy.
That's the idea. Think of it like a plumbing system.
Mm-hmm.
Stress and trauma are like corrosion in the pipes. It slows everything down, builds pressure.
How does tapping on my eyebrow fix that?
It's this elegant dual action thing. The physical tapping sends a direct, calming signal to your nervous system, specifically to the most ancient part of our brain.
The amygdala, the threat detector.
The alarm button, yeah. The part that screams fight or flight. So even as you're saying the words, I feel this anxiety, which would normally rev the system up.
The tapping is telling your body it's safe.
Precisely. The physical input overrides the alarm, and the emotional charge just starts to reduce. Rogers calls it rebooting the emotional system.
And here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just the tapping. It's this powerful combination of three things.
Absolutely. The tapping is just the vehicle. First, there's psychological exposure. Just naming the emotion. I feel angry. It sounds easy, but it takes courage.
Then there's cognitive reframing, changing the negative beliefs tied to that feeling.
And finally, the somatic tapping itself. That's the physical release. Mind, belief, and body all working together. You need all three.
So before we can reboot, we have to understand what caused the crash. Why do we suffer emotionally in the first place?
Rogers breaks it down into three main sources. First, you've got old unresolved memories. Wounds from the past where the emotion just never got processed.
They just stay active.
They do. Then, second, limiting beliefs from childhood. You know, those quiet scripts like, I'm not good enough, or I have to be perfect.
And third, the triggers. The things that happen today that flip the switch on all that old stuff.
And that leads to this huge insight from Rogers. We don't react to what's happening outside of us. We react to the emotional meaning that's already stored inside us.
So if someone rejects your idea in a meeting,
The pain you feel isn't just about the meeting. It's because that rejection just activated a deep belief, like my ideas aren't valuable. That's the real pain you're feeling.
it's the echo.
Right. EFT doesn't change what happened in the meeting. It just erases the painful charge attached to that old belief. So you can respond consciously instead of reacting automatically.
Okay, let's make this really practical. How does someone listening right now actually do this?
It starts with honesty. Step one is identify the emotion. Be specific. Not I feel bad, but I feel anxious about tomorrow's presentation.
And step two is to rate it. On a scale of 0 to 10, this is so smart because it makes the feeling manageable. It's not this huge fog anymore, it's a number, a 9 or a 7.
Then step three is where the magic happens. You tap while speaking a setup statement. And the statement is key. It's always, even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself.
Why is that acceptance part so important?
Because it stops the self-judgment. It stops you from feeling bad about feeling bad. You're telling your whole system, this pain is here and I'm okay anyway. It lowers all the resistance.
Okay, so you're saying that statement while you tap. Where are the points?
You start on the karate chop point on the side of your hand. Then you go through the sequence. You start high at the eyebrow,
Then side of the eye.
under the eye, under the nose,
Just down to the collarbone point.
and under the arm.
Mm-hmm.
After a round, you take a deep breath, and then you go back to step two.
You re-rate the intensity.
Yes. And this is where you feel it work. That 9 you started with might drop to a 6. You tap again, it drops to a 3. Roger says it feels like the emotion is literally melting out of your body.
And this isn't just for, like, major trauma. Rogers says it can help with so many things.
Oh, the whole spectrum. Anxiety, panic, overthinking,
Mm.
but also the deeper stuff. Low self-worth, anger, all those limiting beliefs that hold you back.
And it's so accessible. Once you learn it, it's yours. No equipment, no therapist needed for the day-to-day stuff. It's a real self-empowerment tool.
Which brings us to the profound truth here. Your emotions are not the enemy, they're just energy. Energy that got stuck and is asking to move.
So what does this all mean? When you release that stuck energy, you don't become less emotional.
No, you become more conscious, more peaceful, more powerful. The technique doesn't erase your history, it just erases the pain attached to it. The memory is still there, but the charge is gone.
And that distinction is everything. It puts you back in control. This method really is an invitation to anyone listening who is just tired of fear or overthinking running their life.
You're learning to regulate your own nervous system.
Yeah.
On demand. It's maybe the most fundamental skill for a good life.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. If emotional freedom is a skill and pain is just energy asking to move, what's one limiting belief or one old unresolved memory that you could start observing today? Not to fix it, not to judge it, just to acknowledge the energy is there, because that simple act of observation, well, that's a first step.